Food has always been about so much more than just nutrition. What we eat tells a story about our history, our culture, and even our values as a society. As the world changes, so do our eating habits. Food evolves right alongside us, reflecting what we care about at any given moment, whether that's convenience, health, or tradition. Come make moussaka with me as we chat more about it. If you enjoy my videos, please take the time to like and subscribe. It means a lot. Moussaka is a traditional Mediterranean dish of deliciously spiced meat sauce layered between pieces of charred eggplant. While a version of this is eaten in many different countries, I'm making the Greek version today, with the inclusion of a silky bechamel sauce on top. But the twist is that I am using a plant-based meat alternative to replace the commonly used ground beef or lamb. The entire casserole is baked until bubbling and broiled to give a crispy and cheesy top. The result is a hearty and comforting dish, perfect for cold nights and for sharing with loved ones. Moussaka itself has a unique background. Its base components, including eggplant, ground meat, and spices, are ingredients that came to the Mediterranean during the Middle Ages, and versions of moussaka were eaten during the Ottoman Empire. But what we know today as Greek moussaka is actually much more modern. In the 1920s, Nikolaos Tsalementes, who trained in France, wanted to modernize Greek cuisine. He took traditional Greek recipes and blended in French techniques to bring local food closer to Western European fine dining. That's why he added bechamel, a classic French sauce with butter and roux, to moussaka as a top layer. This decision was clearly very successful, and his influence was massive on modern Greek cooking. Tsalementes shaped his home cuisine so much that even now, people in Greece call any cookbook a Tsalementes. Moussaka is a great example of how cuisine shifts with the times as people reimagine what they eat. Just like Nikolaos Tsalementes added bechamel over a century ago to create the version we know today, I'm giving mine a modern-day addition too, by bringing a plant-based meat alternative instead of ground beef or lamb. These alternatives have exploded in popularity in recent years. They're designed to look, cook, and taste like meat, even bleeding pink juices the way that meat does, but without using any animal products. For many advocates, that means you can still enjoy the flavor and nutrition of meat while lowering your carbon footprint and avoiding the ethical concerns of the livestock industry. And there are health angles too. Some claim that plant-based meats can be lower in saturated fats and cholesterol, making them a lighter option without sacrificing the taste of the dish. At the same time, these alternatives bring up an interesting conversation on how food will continue to evolve. So it's natural to ask, what will we eat in the future? Well, no one knows for sure, but there are a few trends that we can predict. First, the global population is expected to rise to 9.8 billion by 2050, a nearly 20% increase from now. About half of this growth is expected to be in Africa and South and Southeast Asia, while the population of Europe and East Asia will decline. Food production will need to expand to meet this increasing demand. Second, what foods we grow, and just as important, where we grow them, will also change. Climate change is expected to have a negative impact on agriculture by changing temperatures and rainfall patterns. Seeds will have to be modified to increase resilience to heat, drought, and excess water. We may also see diets shift as a result. Crops that are more resilient, such as beans and sorghum, may become more widespread staples instead of corn and wheat, which tend to be more sensitive to climate conditions. Alternatively, traditional food-growing regions may see production shift away to more suitable areas. On one hand, if not managed, the world could face food shortages. On the other, changes to where we grow food could impact jobs, economies, and food supply chains. Third, we know that what we eat will not only be influenced by necessity, but also by new information and trends. In recent years, tastes in the Western world have moved towards organic and clean food, with less chemicals and processing. Many people increasingly want to know where their food comes from. from fair trade chocolate, as we covered in a previous video, to locally sourced honey. Restaurants are advertising farm-to-table cuisine and nose-to-tail cooking to maximize freshness and reduce waste. Sustainability and ethics are also emerging as a theme, as some are pushing to reduce the impact that food has on the climate. Plant-based meat aligns with some of these goals. Food is also influenced by what is popular in the moment. What we eat is becoming increasingly global as dishes incorporate international flavors. Ingredients like chili crisp and kimchi have recently taken off, being used in everything from scrambled eggs to tacos. Nutrition can experience trends too, from keto to paleo and now high-protein diets. Companies respond to these trends by delivering more of what they think consumers want, which is how we got protein-fortified ketchup, mushroom coffee, and cottage cheese wraps. Of course, some trends are purely for fun and Instagram, like sushi pizza and rainbow bagels. It is likely that some of these trends will continue and accelerate. As people become exposed to more tastes, it seems reasonable to predict that globalization of flavors will only increase. Food researchers will also push the boundaries of what tastes can be developed. The field is making progress in hybrid proteins, which combine plant and animal cell cultures to maintain the benefits of the former while improving taste. Innovation is also happening in precision fermentation to produce real animal proteins from plant sources and structured fibers to improve the texture of alternatives. This way, future plant-based chicken could pull apart like real chicken breast, and plant-based steaks can cut like beef. These alternative options will continue to progress towards tasting like actual meat, while bringing other benefits that the natural ingredients may not have. It's important to remember that food trends are not universal. While some people enthusiastically embrace alternative proteins, others approach them with skepticism. What we eat is shaped heavily by local culture and context. Taking meat consumption as an example. In many parts of the world where families have only recently gained disposable income, eating meat has become a powerful status symbol. It's a marker of prosperity and progress compared to earlier generations when meat was a rare luxury. In these societies, plant-based alternatives face an uphill battle because eating meat itself represents success. That said, perspectives can evolve. As younger generations grow up with meat as a normal part of everyday life, the cultural significance of eating it may fade. Over time, that shift could open the door for plant-based options to take root. And what feels normal in one culture can be completely unappealing in another. Take insects, for example. Around 2 billion people worldwide regularly eat crickets, mealworms, and grasshoppers, amongst other insects. They're an incredibly affordable, nutrient-rich source of protein, easy for the body to absorb, low in fat, and low in calories. On paper, it makes perfect sense. They're cheap, sustainable, and healthy. But for many, the idea of eating bugs is, well, tough to stomach. That psychological barrier has kept insect protein from becoming mainstream in much of the world, even as the demand for alternative, sustainable proteins continues to grow. Food for thought. There's a concept in psychology called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It suggests that human motivation is layered, beginning with the most basic requirements for survival, including food, water, and shelter, and building all the way up to the pursuit of self-actualization, or becoming the best version of ourselves. As each level is satisfied, we naturally reach higher on the pyramid. Food is fascinating in this framework because it begins as a fundamental need. We eat to live. But once caloric needs are met, the role of food changes. Food becomes about expressing who we are, connecting with others, and as a way to stand up for what we believe in. Just like Telementes changed Moussaka a century ago, as he sought to shift Greek food towards Europe, what we eat today is more than about what we eat. Food, at its core, reflects our values, telling the story of who we are and who we hope to become. What does what you eat say about you? I'd be interested to hear in the comments. The recipe to make this moussaka is in the description, both the vegetarian version and the traditional version with ground beef. Please give it a try. I promise it will be worth the effort. If you like my content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.